welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Mirror Ball. I'm your host, Melina, and I run Mixing It Up with Melina on Facebook and Instagram. This week, we're diving into season 6 of Dancing with the Stars. And I have thoughts. But, as always, before we start, get cozy. Whether you're in your car driving and listening to me, always be careful, and don't forget to use your blinker. Or get cozy on your couch, your bed, whatever it may be that you are. Grab your drink of choice, water, coffee, alcoholic beverage, or maybe a crisp Diet Coke. I've been doing my notes for season 6, going over them. And this Diet Coke has just been staring at me, and Lord knows that I need it. Full disclosure, there is nothing in this room besides this right now. We are moving. It's my last day filming in this room. Starting next week, I'll have a whole new setup, and hopefully it is just as cute. Anyways, all right, let's get cozy and let's dive in. Cheers. It's spring 2008. What were you doing in spring 2008? Lord knows what I was doing. Excuse me. We have our same 3 judges come back, always. Bruno, Len, and Cristián. We have the same 2 hosts come back, Tom and Samantha. And this year, we add another new dance style to the ballroom dances. Now, mind you, back in this heyday, I would say the seasons 4 through, gosh, I don't even know when it stopped. I felt like there was a lot of new attempts at different versatile dance options. Down the road, we're gonna see Bollywood, hip hop, things like that. And then, honestly, I should probably do more research. At some point or another, they fall back and do just your ballroom dances, which I think that should be what it is. So we have country western enter the ballroom this year. So we have 12 couples this season, and we have 1 new pro enter the ballroom, Fabian Sanchez. We have our first deaf contestant, which was the famous Marlee Matlin. I believe I'm saying that right, Matlin. Which is, I always found it insanely inspiring when someone who has something that could be an obstacle in their life to stop them from being able to do what most of us can do, and they persevere and they jump and they go over and they show that no matter how you were created or intended for this world, you can do things. So I thought that was really cool. We have, let's go through our 12 partnerships real quick. Let it note that week 6 is just not gonna be your normal video. I'm gonna have my laptop here so I'm not constantly looking down here. Okay, so up first we have Penn Juliet. Again, if you are new here, I botch names. I'm a girl who's named Melina. My maiden last name was insanely Italian, and yet I continue to botch names as well. So we have Penn Juliet, part of the Penn and Teller magician duo. He is partnered with Kim Johnson. We have Monica Seles, a legendary tennis player, partnered with Jonathan Roberts. We have one of my favorites, truly, Steve Guttenberg, partnered with Anna. He is famous for being an actor, a huge, when the Palisades, oh my gosh, why can't I think? Fire was going on, he was on the front line helping rescue people and animals, and he today is still a huge advocate for it. He's also from the It Takes Two, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen movie, the dad. Anywho, I digress. We have Adam Carolla, famous comedian, partnered with Julianne, you know who she is. Priscilla Presley, the famous ex-wife of Elvis Presley, partnered with Louis Van Amstel. We have Marlee Matlin, partnered with Fabian. We have Shannon Elizabeth, famous from the American Pie series, partnered with Derek. We have the singer, our R&B singer, really is how most of us know him, Mario, partnered with Karina. We have Marissa Jarrett Wincour, a famous Broadway actress, partnered with Tony. Cristián de la Fuente, a famous actor specifically in the Spanish realm of the world of acting, also does English, but that is his like bread and butter. Partnered with Cheryl. We have Jason Taylor, famous NFL legend, partnered with Edita. And then we have the very famous, beautiful, legendary Olympic figure skater Cristián partnered with Mark. That is your partnerships for the season 6. Okay, so a couple little tidbits about not every couple, but some of them. So let me start from the top of my notes. Carolla ended up going on for 4 weeks, which was very surprising to most people, but some of his dances were extremely funny because that's just who he is. Let me just roll a clip of something he did. So that is Adam Carolla for you. He is a famous comedian, and it only made sense for his dances to be like this. Many thought he would disappear. That's what I was just about to say. Many thought he would be voted home, really one of the first, and he still went home week 4, but that's 4 weeks longer than many thought he would, including Len. So I said last week that we would crown someone the Andy Richter effect every week. And I want to change that verbiage because I can. And as I go along farther with this series, I'm going to figure out what feels right. And with that, I've decided I'm going to award the Andy Richter Award each season to someone that progressed farther into the competition than many did not initially consider and ended up being what I guess many would refer to as the underdog. So in enters the award for this season, going to Marissa. She is a famous Broadway actress. Most people, I would reckon, say know her from being Hairspray in the original Broadway. And so she went farther than I think I could safely bet most of us thought she would. She ended up having this bubbly personality and this great partnership with Tony, and they ended up going farther along. She came in 4th. And as she was one of those that every week, not only did she have that personality, she had the partnership dynamics, she had really probably one of the smaller fan bases compared to the people that she was with on the season. But she was growing as a dancer too. And so her dances it was evident to the eye and to the viewer that she was getting better. And again, those kind of things all bubble up. She was not the best dancer, but she definitely deserved to go into the place that she did. So the top 3 of this season ended up being Cristián de la Fuente, Jason Taylor, and Cristián. And I think we can all agree that those 3 deserve to be where they were. It ended up coming down to Jason and Christy, and Cristián is not an athlete as like, you don't know him, he wasn't on a team or anything, but he is extremely athletic. And so I think this is where we really delved into like the athletes can be quite admirable in this competition. And so you have a former figure skater, you have a NFL legend, and then you've got Cristián de la Fuente, who is just, you can look at him as he's just beast mode. And so there were a lot of fun lifts and really unique choreography done with these 3. Cristián is, I was just about to use the word mesmerizing. And not because he is good looking. He is good looking and he's very fit and all of the things. But I just remember watching him and being like, wow, like I didn't know what to expect with him, because usually men or women with a Spanish culture background have the moves. So it shouldn't have surprised me that he was such a great dancer, but I just remember really being surprised and mesmerized by him. He does a samba with Cheryl, and towards the end, the latter half of his dance, something happens, and you really don't see a specific moment where it's like, oh my gosh, is he okay? But instead, you see him kind of like stand to the side. You know what? Let me just show you the clip real quick.
Okay. Let's find out what's going on.
Sorry.
What happened, buddy?
I pulled a muscle.
Pulled a muscle in his arm. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. That's
No,
all
I'm
right.
fine.
You want to?
See what I mean? Like, what happened? And what's even crazy is that I've never pulled an arm muscle. And again, he's very athletic, so you would think that, like, if it has to hurt, right? Because for him to act like that, and I don't know. Anywho, he was right back to dancing and went on to the next show and persevered through it and pushed through it. And, you know, that's huge. But yeah, I remember just being like, did he, you know, you can't help, no matter how good of a person you are, you can't help but wonder, oh, did he mess up? And so now he's trying to throw it off. Yeah, so he ended up coming. And so that was it. I think it was week 8, because then it was just 2 weeks later that it was the finale. He ended up being able to redo the samba. And then, but it just wasn't close enough to actually win the mirror ball, which leads me into our top 2. Now, y'all know how I feel about Edita. If you don't, Edita is my favorite dance pro on the show. I just loved the whole package of what she brought. The beauty, the grace, the grit, the determination, the choreography. I could go on and on. Truly, and truly one of the biggest disservices of Dancing with the Stars is that she did not win a mirror ball. She came close. She came in second this year. And her and Jason really had a cool, I guess dynamic is the word I keep using. They really meshed well together. She was able to do, I feel, a different level of choreography with him because of his strength and athleticism versus what she was kind of with in the past, where she still was successful with her partners previous to him. But this one was her first time, I think, she was able to, you know, bloom into a different, or not bloom because this is who she's always, but showcase her next level of dance choreography. So Jason and Christy, this is where that turmoil comes in. I really wanted Edita to win, and I did like Jason, but on the flip side, I really liked Christy. And this is a hot take, and I can't believe I'm going to say this in the world now, but for seasons and years on end, I did not like Mark or Derek. I will not take away from them that they were outstanding dancers and amazing choreographers. That is evident no matter what. I could not stand how pompous those two were. I could not stand it. And this is a girl in her young 20s. We're the same age, you know, I'm the same age as them. Like, I was not attracted to their level of confidence. And so I really was torn because I loved Edita and I loved Christy, and I didn't know who to go for. Ultimately, Christy and Mark won. So this is probably one of, at least to me, I don't know if you agree with me, let me know in the comments. One of the most shocking couples to come from Dancing with the Stars, I think, was Shannon Elizabeth and Derek Hough. Hoof, hoof. I'm gonna do that every time. The speculation started swirling, as I say oftentimes, almost right from the rip. And I would have bet money that this was just a rumor. There was no way these two were an item. I want to say I should have looked up specifically. There was an age gap, and it just felt like they were two very different people. I'm not a matchmaker, but I am someone that I have this weird, unique hidden talent where I read people very well, and I can often tell you what will transpire. And these two were not on my radar, and I did not see it coming, but they were. They even announced that they were a couple while they were in the middle of the season. So they started we just had our transformer blow. Sorry about that. Our neighborhood transformer blew, but we're already back in business. Okay, so I did not, so they started dating in the middle of the season, which was spring 2008. And then they went on, you saw them on red carpets. They were out and about. I believe they even lived with each other for a little bit. I don't know. Allegedly, maybe. I have to confirm that. But they did do a joint statement in July 2009. So that is a year and a half-ish, where they went on their Twitter and both released a statement saying that they were no longer together. And honestly, until they did that joint statement of them saying like they weren't together anymore, I still was like, no, this isn't real. Like this, like there's just no way. There's no way these two have enough common ground to make it this long, but they did. And so that was one of the long-term relationships that came from the show. Spoiler alert, Derek ends up dating several people throughout his time on the show. And then ultimately marries someone from the show, but on a different level. And I would like to say now, I am very big fans of both Derek and Mark. I feel like the women in their lives have grounded them. I feel like they've grown. I feel like fatherhood has changed them. I truly enjoy watching them, listening to them, and seeing their content. And I don't get the ick from them anymore whatsoever. I know I've touched on this before, but it needs to be said probably several times throughout this series that Deena Katz is the casting director for Dancing with the Stars. She has been with the show since the very beginning. So for the last 20 years, she has been the decision maker in who comes onto the show. She handles all of that business. She also does it for several other shows, which you can see how all the crossovers play in throughout the years as they transpire. But with that being said, Deena gets heat from several of the people that follow me, from some of the reports I've read. She's not always the favorite. However, for me, I've always gone to bat for this woman. I think she's a brilliant casting director, and I venture to say that I think I've agreed, and hear me out, maybe I'll change my mind as we go farther into the deep dives of the seasons. But truly, I believe she is gold when it comes. Clearly, she is. And what I love about what she does outside of being brilliant for the show and the production and ratings and things like that is there always seems to be, and again, I may change my mind as we dig deeper into these seasons, but so far, and what I know, the camaraderie of the cast gets along so well. The respect that they each give each other, even though it's a competition show. Many forget that Dancing with the Stars is a competition show, but the camaraderie that is built within, that she inevitably creates, is done so magically. They leave there with lifelong friends, sometimes lifelong partners, and everyone is sad when someone goes home. Now, are there people that don't always vibe with the rest of them? Is there always, not always, but is there sometimes the one guy or girl who just doesn't fit in? Yeah, sure, but that's still gold in the casting side of things. And so I always find it fascinating, especially when some of the celebrities or pros are reaching out to me and giving me their mirror ball minute answers. Or I'm reading and looking at other interviews of other, podcasts and things like that. I do find it insanely rewarding on her behalf to see that she created that and that she does it so well and that she's done it for 20 years. She clearly knows what she's doing. And with that, we wrap up season 6 of Dancing with the Stars. Thank you guys so much for being here. As always, please be sure to like this video, comment if you have any thoughts at all or want to chat about anything, and be sure to subscribe to this channel. Each of those things always make a big difference in my world, and I appreciate them so much. And don't forget to be following me over on Facebook or Instagram at Mixing It Up with Melina, all one word. Y'all have a great rest of your week, and I can't wait to chat with you next week. I almost said next year. Bye.